said, please remember.
Does anybody have Vaseline? I don't want to be here looking.
No.
Because it's God, man, and woman doesn't give us the kind.
Yeah, it doesn't give us the kind of onus to think, we can do whatever we want whenever we want, and then there'll be, God will just be waiting for us to come and say, okay, I've had my fun. Now it's time to kind of go through the whole process. I think we need to, as men, kind of stop that. Whether or not we do is, only God knows, because of other kind of things. And, you can go down a rabbit hole with these things. What else is it? Women understanding that it's not about equality, it's more about equity. Yeah. I think the whole, I'm not going to go too much into it, the whole onus of this new age feminism is that a woman is equal to a man, and we can go on in different kind of areas of life where that isn't the case, but the value is still the same.
How would you define equality?
Equality is if, let's put it in the simplest terms, because we're all...
In terms of relationships?
In terms of relationships?
Or simplest terms, a general broad sweeping term, if you like.
In terms of general, I think it's a lot easier to kind of provide an example. In terms of equality, let's just use football, because the Women's World Cup was quite recent, and they believe that women should earn the same amount in terms of salary as men. And on the face of it, you can kind of see, okay, yeah, I get where you're coming from. Women are playing football, men are playing football. It's the same, basically the same rules and everything. But, again, going off into kind of a sales and economics background, if you look at the amount of if you look at
put your arm down.
If you look at the amount of revenue,
keep going, son. I know it's gonna come out. Keep going, son.
Like if you look at the amount of revenue that the men's game is bringing in because of popularity, because of the support that is being shown, these businesses have to pay these men what they're worth. Whereas with women, the Men's World Cup, what were we in 2019? So was it last year's World Cup?
Yeah.
It brought in close to 1 billion viewers.
Right.
The Women's World Cup final brought in 100 million.
Right.
There's no equality in that.
Right.
One is bringing in a fraction of what the other's bringing in. Now, obviously, I'm reading up in terms of a lot of brands are now putting money into it, which is good, but it's still not at the same level. Certain areas, I can't really get them out of the top of my head because I'm just kind of flowing, but there's certain areas where women need to realise, we are valued the same because God sees us all as equal. But in terms of the hierarchy, there is a hierarchy. And, again, I can speak for a man and say, we have to step up in terms of understanding our role and valuing the hierarchy. But at the same point in time, it's not, I don't think, for a woman to kind of make it, basically flattening the pyramid to have it God and then man and woman. That's not what he said.
I think in terms of equality, the way I see it is there should be some sort of balance. So you've got, of course, the one shooting talking about equality and men and women should be here. But I feel like it's also subjective to who you're with as well. So going back to like the double standards, for example, let's say a woman does expect a man to pay for everything. Okay, maybe on the other side of things, the man may expect a woman to, I don't know, just be caring, for example. Just for example. But at the end of the day, because we are built differently, there's something the man is built to do and something the woman's built to do. As long as he's happy doing this and she's happy doing that, that's where, for me personally, I feel like the equality will come into play. But where you're looking at things whereby there's already a model, a predetermined model, I don't think there's a ground we should play on.
Just to buttress that point in terms of relationships, it's a partnership at the end of the day. If you want it to work, you're going to have to work hand in hand. It's like two co-founders. You can't both be doing the same thing. And nowadays, as Josh said, you're looking at women earning more than they've ever earned. You're looking at women doing more amazing things. Female CEOs, female CEOs of massive enterprise companies nowadays. So it's an individual thing. Analyze your situation personally. What works, what doesn't work. If the man earns less than a woman, and the woman earns a lot more than him, you have to come to a conclusion that benefits the both of you, because at the end of the day, when you enter a relationship, you become one.
Just to kind of, I agree with everyone. I agree with everything everyone has said. like Jamal said, there is no longer a one-size-fits-all model to relationships or marriage. And I think, again, like Jamal said and like both Joe and Josh said, right now I think the place of equality is in the place of value. Because if you had to look at it mathematically, like Josh said, where we both have our equality is in that we're both equally valuable. So it then comes to what value do I bring to the table, what value do you bring to the table, and how can we work together and fill in the gaps for each other to ensure that this is a success.
One of the lads said earlier, women hear what they want to hear. Sometimes. You know, and you just alluded to it now, that men are very direct, we're very objective. Even if we don't say anything, our actions is, we don't know how to multitask. You know?
Actually, but you can go with that. You can roll with that.
In the sense that if we're saying something and we don't mean it, our actions will down the line prove that we don't mean it. And if we're on the flip side, if we're behaving a certain way, and you know, maybe this, I don't know, the actions is a facade or a lie, our words will contradict us along the line. Do you get what I'm saying? So from a few of you, I can't tell a female how to think or how to be. You know, there's no one size fits all. There's no one answer, but you have to be sensitive to who you're dealing with. You've got to be really sensitive in acts, in words, everything. It's not just, you know, you hear one thing and you take it. You've got to analyze the whole thing. How does it make you feel? You know, what's your spirit telling you as well, kind of thing. Aside from what he's doing, aside from everything he's doing, do you feel right? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel safe? You've got to be really sensitive in those situations where your heart is on the line as well.
I can vouch for that actually from personal experience. Obviously no one's perfect here, but in my last relationship, I think in terms of what Joe was saying about, and then obviously I expand on the fact that a man is afforded a lot more mistakes and he can have one goal and work towards it. I have that in mind with marriage. You know, I've always never wanted to invest my energy and time in something I didn't see would go forth, and that's always a good thing, I believe, in my perspective. I got into this relationship, you know, prayed about it, we did flow, we did click, and I think when we started talking about marriage, obviously as a guy, when we have our heart set on something, we go for it and we don't really listen, and that was me with marriage. So a year and 3 months into it, things were going really well. We'd have ups and downs, but we'd always get through them, and I was kind of like, okay, now, you know, I'm just going to start praying about marriage, like. And it wasn't even consulting her into it. It was like, I need to know whether or not this is the one. And I got my answer, and it wasn't the answer that I wanted. It was kind of terrible. Obviously, you know, ties were made. Obviously, I haven't spent that much time with that person, and you know, it ended kind of horribly, which wasn't, you know, the greatest. But in terms of communication, you know, I'm gonna take it from a woman's perspective and put it on a man's perspective this time, like. And what Joe was saying in terms of our actions and our words may not add up. I found myself on reflection kind of waffling slightly. I was saying one thing because I didn't want to upset her. And you know, we'd have like an argument or disagreement, and she'd bring up, well, you said this, you did this. And then I was in this position where I wanted to keep the peace, so I'd either say or do something, even though deep down in my heart it wasn't the right thing to do. And obviously coming out of this relationship, you know, I've kind of learned that yes, communication is key, but for us as men as well, again, it's not necessarily having the fact that communication is key, but it's also making sure that you're backing up what you're saying, or you're also doing what you say you do.
I find that, I mean, in my experience, the best thing to do is ask, because for me personally, one thing that didn't really sit well with me was, first of all, it's great to seek counsel. That's something I really had to digest after I come out of my relationship. But if there's something you're unsure of with the person you're with, you need to talk to them. Like, you need to make it. If it's scary for you, there are other outlets. You can write, you can phone, you can text, you can do whatever. But you need to talk to that person. You need to let them know. Otherwise, you're just gonna keep yourself in the dark. And then when his actions change based on your actions in that particular scenario, the person who's going to feel it the most is you. Will always be hurt. So talk. You have to speak up. You have to speak up, because I've also found that when they do go to seek counsel, let's say they go and speak to their group of friends, what tends to happen is, and this happens for guys as well in some cases, but a guy may consult, his friend, and his friend will say, do you know what, I think, based on what's happened, you guys are going well, things are going well, but I think based on how I know you would usually do this. And the guy will then act on that advice or suggestion that's been given, and that misconstrues the relationship. You need to consult the person you're with first, and then take from there. Or better yet, seek counsel together, and then go forward.